Welcome to the episode of Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to continue my trek through season 5 of Love is Blind. Today, I'm going to recap and break down everything that happened in episode 6, season 5. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this journey through our incredibly insane season 5. This has been one of the more unique and different and stressful and weird and messy seasons yet, and it's only about to get even worse. All right, episode 6, we are waking up with our couples again. We see lots and lots of heavy action going on between Izzy and Stacy. JP and Taylor's turn, and she said, "I'm not talking, you can." Very weird. Lydia and Milton, she wants them to match as they're getting ready to go to the beach. He doesn't want to match because he's not 12. He said he wants to wear the gray shorts. She said he wants her to wear the black ones. And he comes back with one of the funniest lines. He says, "You might be a little too old to know what fashion is about anymore." I love them so much. I can't wait for my heart to be broken. Like, literally cannot wait for something to go down and them not to get married, and then me just be like, "Yay, I fucking love this couple," and they didn't make it. You know what I mean? I had so much luck last season. We had Brett and Tiffany, was emotionally invested from the time the relationship started, the time it ended. It worked out well. So I'm like, I'm ready to be absolutely shattered this time around. Let's see. JP and Taylor are about to ride four-wheelers. JP is excited to explore Mexico with Taylor. They have a little lunch together. She said, "How are you feeling?" He said, "Sweaty." He said he's feeling okay. She said, "If there's anything on his mind." He said, "You need to show your freckles more." He said, "I feel more comfortable in the pods because I was talking to the wall." And she said, "Now you're talking to a face." He said, "Well, pretty face." Come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is the thing that I want to know. And I would ask JP like this. Did you, the moment you saw her, were you not attracted to her? And then I would ask Taylor, the moment you saw JP, were you not attracted to him? Because I feel like that's the hang up here, right? She said, you've date in the real world before, right? LOL, I'm dying. He said that he can go back to Houston and work on some things and see how their living arrangement kind of is. And see how living together works and become a stronger couple. She asks his fears, and he says that his fear is that she's going to leave. She said, "I'm not going to just leave." She said she's going to give it a little bit more time. He said, "Don't give up on me." She said, "I'll try not to." That's not very encouraging. There we go. That's where I was looking for, everybody. I feel like he's making a little bit more. So this is the thing. In this scene, I felt like he gave a little bit more effort. I feel like he said more words in this episode than the entire time they've been in Mexico so far. So it's definitely interesting. Like, maybe he needs to break out of his shell, and maybe she needs to let him kind of have that pace a little bit. Maybe it's not as fast as she wanted it to be, but I do still think that he tried here a little bit more than he has so far. Izzy and Stacy are playing mini golf, lots of sex talk here, sex talk and sticks. She said that she thought he was going to come in a little bit stronger sexually. He said that there's emotion attached to it, and he has to do with how he feels with her. She said she's in love with him and completely open and translate that to the sexual aspect of things. She wants him to kind of be more physical with him, like he would a one-night stand, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, that's what she's yearning from her. Lydia Milton, these two can't keep their hands off each other. He said she is funnier than he thought. She said, "I'm hilarious." He said that's a stretch, which, again, he said you're bossy. She said maybe a little bit. Also, like, the way these two got in bed together, like, there was rose petals on the bed. Like, are they on the sheets? Like, one couple had them in there, but, like, are they on the sheets permanently? Because, like, do you leave the room and then you just put a bunch of rose petals back on the bed? Like, that's the case. That's really weird. Izzy and Stacy are getting freaky. JP and Taylor are in the bed together. Asked how their day was. Taylor said she doesn't feel like they are where they should be. JP said it's awkward and he won't and she said it's awkward and she won't stop pushing it. He said she has one foot out the door. He said he's trying to change and has been trying every day. She said it's not working, and he apologizes for having a bad first day. She said day 1, day 2, day 3, they aren't going to be awkward. She said this is the first time he's actually talked to her. She said, what has changed since the pods? He said she tried to present herself as her best self. And he said if she would have hold on, rewind. Okay. Sorry. He said, what has changed since the pod? She said she tried to present herself as her best self. He said if she wouldn't have presented herself without makeup, and he said he felt like when they met, it was fake. So basically what he's saying is she got all dolled up on meet day and he had a problem with her putting on a face because he said that he felt like she was presenting somebody that wasn't her. He said it started feeling awkward because of that. He said you had a caked up face, fake eyelashes, and presented fake stuff. She said I dolled up for the moment. She got offended, left. She comes back. She said, you didn't even know what I looked like, and I wanted to feel my best for you, and I put a lot of makeup to make you feel good. He said when he saw her that if he was going to be something he has to put up with every day, that's not something he wants. He said, I want this face, and she said, you don't know that face. Bro, what? Like, JP, bro, like, if a girl wants to put some makeup on to make herself feel pretty, to go out the house, to present herself in that manner, let her do it. You can have both. When you're at the house, you see the freckles, you see the natural face. But if she wants to wear makeup, whatever, man. Like, what? She said, I wore makeup one time, and he said that's what started the awkwardness. That doesn't make any sense. So the one time you see her at the makeup, since then, like that's it. That was the first time. He said he didn't picture anything. She said, the moment I walked out, you shut down. He said, yes. He said, you didn't. He said, don't wear makeup. She said, I will, and you aren't going to tell me what to do. He said, you aren't a real person. If you look like this, I want you. He said, how is it bad that I want to like you, that I like you better without your makeup? She said, I don't want to talk about it. He said, you're already going to leave, so what do you want? She said, I'm going to sleep in another room. She said, I appreciate you talking to me for sure. She wants to keep the love and care for him, and she fell in love with his heart, and he still has a good heart. He said, I felt you were loving and kind of felt like she'd be supportive no matter what. She said, we are still those people. He said, can we go back to that? She said, the pods aren't the real world. And he said, we are the same people. She said, it's best to talk in the morning. We'll figure out the next step. She leaves and says, I'll talk to you in the morning. He gets up and hugs her. This, like, JP is going to get ridiculed heavily for this moment. He better delete his social media because this is going to be a disaster. I get his honesty here, but I cannot believe he said that. Like, I am blown away at this entire moment. I understand the aspect of him, what he's saying, but it's not, you can't say stuff like that. Like, if a woman wants to get dolled up and go out, she literally got dolled up for him, to look good for him in this moment. And that's how he acted. Like, completely blown away by this entire thing. Like, I don't even understand. We're heading back to Houston. Stacey and Izzy are talking about not wanting to go back. She said she's excited for him to meet his family, vice versa. Lydia and Milton are talking. She said, I'm going to call my mom. He said, I'm going to call my homies. And she said, you are young. She said, are you scared to live with me? He said, yes, I like having my own space. Taylor and JP are meeting. He has this dead look on his face. He speaks first. He said that they've been trying to hash out things and it was partly his fault, but wants to get back to the connection and work on it. She said that she has emotion towards him, but he isn't the person she fell in love with. It was uncomfortable and he had to drag it out of him. She took it all in and doesn't feel the same. She said that she wouldn't be engaged or live together and that she is done. She said that's what's best for us. Yikes. I'm shocked in some aspects here, but I'm also not shocked because I feel like if this was season 3, they probably would have went back together. But I feel like they're trying to flip a narrative a little bit, so they're not going back together. He said, "I wish we could have hashed it out after the first day." I'm rooting for her. Good for her. You know what I mean? This makes me so happy. She put the wedding ring on the table. She says, "I'm sorry," and he looks like he's gonna just murder her. That's what he looks like. He said, "Don't be sorry. I'm sorry I made you feel that way." This season's like a mess. He said to the camera, "I'm sad. It sucks." And all they had in the pods, they had a lot in the pods, and it wasn't enough. She said, "I think love is blind. I fell in love with him before ever seeing him. I could have sat in that pause and talked to him forever." She said, "When they hugged and kissed, there was nothing there." She said she feels like she made the right decision. I think about it, I think you can't force sexual attraction, because if you try to force that, the potential of straying is at an all-time high. Let's see here. So Stacey and Izzy and Lydia Milton are our only 2 couples. Milton is an engineer and he's early in his career and is having to balance right now. Being the youngest guy in the office, they realize that they're basically not going to see each other because of how their schedules are. Lydia and Milton, he said, only work 4 nights a week. They talk about how they'll work it out. Again, healthy communication here. Healthy. Promoting healthy communication. Hey, this is my schedule. Hey, this is my schedule. How can we make this work so that we can have a healthy relationship early on in the stages of this relationship? Stacey's family is super supportive right now. Izzy's mom isn't all in like Stacey family. She questions how and the why and when, why he is all in when he wouldn't be in the past. He says she knows he isn't always all in, but he said that the love he has for her is too much. He hopes that she can pick him up and wants to be a better team. Again, healthy conversations. Well, let's see how we can fuck that up, producers, right? Lydia and Milton are heading to his apartment. She thought she was going to be messy. He has a couple of cow rugs, and he said they are non-negotiable. And she took the ring off and gave it back to him. This was hilarious. I'm telling you, I just can't get enough of these 2 banter. And it was just so funny. Like, she just was like, "Nah, dog, these are unnegotiable." Not only did he have 1, but he had 2 cow rugs. She said this is giving undergrad vibes. It was just a hilarious moment. Josh, Milton's roommate, comes in, said you can both have, she said, first thing she says to him was, "You can have both the rugs." And Josh said, "I like you." He said, "Y'all are cute." Milton said, "You want to get Liddy." And Lydia had absolutely no clue what the hell he was talking about. Milton, and then we find out from Josh that Milton is banned on Pokemon servers for talking too much shit. Josh is the best, like, literally throughout all of these seasons, we've seen some characters introduced to the show that we end up not liking. One of the characters, Josh, here is one of the best friends you could ever ask for. He talks up Milton right to Lydia. My guy is an all-time best friend. He said Milton speaks about Lydia in ways that he never has seen before, and he is ready for marriage. Again, Josh, like Milton, he better be your best man. He better be something at this wedding, because my guy is there for you. They're heading to Stacey's house because it'll be his house soon. Remember, folks, apparently there's that shitty credit, no money from the pods conversation that happened. They're going around the house. She's showing off and mentioning things. He said, "Holy shit, you have a lot of clothes." Duh, shut the fuck up. The money talk. This was definitely interesting. She said savings, 401k. She talks about what his money looks like. He doesn't really say much. She said, "What about dinner?" He said, "It depends." And she got pissed, saying that the man should pay. I have issues with this. Okay. First things first. These 2 are supposed to get married 3-ish weeks. I understand the money situation is sticky because it's early on, even if you get married. However, if you got the dinner, who cares who's paying for dinner? You're married. It's 2023. Can we stop with the man has to pay? Sure, a man can feel like he should pay, or, hey, I should. But you're in a relationship together. This isn't something that's just there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like, it just really irritated me. She said, "I don't ever want to have to be stretched for money. She works hard for her shit and she wants to have fun." It's crazy to me how none of these people have had this money conversation from the get-go. She said they need to go over all of the money things and have to know these things before they sign up for life. Her family has money, but she doesn't want to sit there and just take it. I mean, he didn't say shit, like not a single thing this entire time. Like he was terrified to even talk, open his mouth, communicate about money at all. Like I feel like this is going to be an upcoming issue in the near future. Here comes Aaliyah, and here comes Uchi. She said, "Thank you for meeting me." She said, "I do regret leaving you like that, and I do love you and never felt a connection with any other man." She says, "I still want to marry you, and I want to be your other half, and I would marry you." And of course, that's our cliffhanger for this episode of Love is Blind. That's episode 6. We just broke down a recap for you guys. Episode 7, if you're listening to the podcast, if you're listening here on YouTube, will be available on Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you then.